Well, here we go again today. We're making minestra, and we're going to be using spare ribs and sausage and some salt pork that was ground up and some oil to start with. And I'm going to use about an ounce of olive oil. And some salt pork, as you saw once before. I'm going to use just about 1 spoonful. And we're going to proceed to render the salt pork, and then I'm going to be adding the sausage and the spare rib. Now the salt pork is being rendered, and it's time to add my sausage, and this is the sausage we made the other day, and our spare ribs, and I'm going to proceed to lower the heat to about medium. There's spare ribs and sausage being sauteed. As I said, I've lowered the heat now, and I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to let this cook for about 15 minutes on this side, and then I'm going to be turning it over and letting it steam. Now that's been browning the last 15 minutes. I'm going to be turning this over now and letting this side brown for about another 15 minutes. And as I said, I put this on medium heat so you don't burn anything. So this is what it looks like browning now. Now we're going to let that side brown for about another 15 minutes at the same medium heat. Just for a little background on minestra, when I was growing up, and this was during the Depression, minestra was used in the Italian family on Mondays. Now, for those of you who don't know what minestra is, it's greens. Minestra means greens. But the Italian family would use minestra on Mondays, and this was to clean out your stomach from what you ate over the weekend, all the junk and stuff, like the big meals that you had on Saturday and Sunday. And Mondays they would have the greens, and that would be like a diuretic. Now we're going to use, as I said, just sausage and spare ribs, but you can put pork pockies in here. You could put pepperoni in here. Again, all of this is to your own taste. After this browns, we'll go into our next step. Now that's been browning for about 15 minutes now, and it's got nice brown color to it. Now minestra is quite an involved item to make. This is going to take at least 2 hours. Now that that's browning, we're going to add water, and we're going to cook that for at least an hour in at a high heat, medium high. And whether you use water or whether you use chicken stock or beef stock or any other kind of stock that you have, really doesn't make that much difference. We're getting the flavor from the pork here, and I will be adding a chicken stock to this, a chicken base rather, and just about 1 good tablespoon. Now we're going to let that boil for about an hour, and then we'll be back again for the next step. Now that's been cooking for about an hour, and we wanted to cook it until the meat starts breaking away from the bone, which it's doing, and making this very tender. Our next step is to take some Savoy cabbage and cut this up in, depending on the size, adding that in. And we're going to cut this in thirds, so actually it's a sixth. Now I'm going to put that on a little higher heat, and I've taken some escarole, and it's already been cleaned, and I'm putting that in there. Now if your choice is fresh spinach, you can put fresh spinach in. And I'm going to save the heart of the escarole for salad, or as we call it, ensalada. That's the heart there. Now, if you notice, I haven't put any seasoning into this as yet. I'm going to be adding my seasoning when the Savoy cabbage and the escarole are partly cooked, and then I'll be adding some marinara sauce, which we made the other night, and some salt and pepper, and some red crushed pepper, and some grated cheese. Now we'll let this cook until it's tender, and cover it, and that will take about another maybe 20 minutes. Now our greens have been cooking, and they're a little bit tender now. We're going to add Great Northern beans, and we're going to add our marinara sauce that's been thinned out just for color. And I'm going to add some red pepper. Not too much, just a little dash. And some pepper. Again, we're eyeballing this. And some salt. And this is a Romano cheese. Now, that'll cook for another half an hour, and it'll be all done. And this is what it looks like at the present time. And in about another half an hour, this will be done. This usually takes about 2 hours to cook from start to finish. And most of it is, of course, to make the time it takes is usually because of the meat to be tender. Now the final item we're going to put in this, and this is not necessary, but we're putting fresh mushrooms in there. And when they're tender, that will be done, and you serve this in a bowl, and it's good for dunking Italian bread. Bellissimo!